You can use the chat box and to put in your questions, or the question box you can send it over to the training organizer. Okay. And since this is the first session for us, everybody will be on the listen-only mode. However, you can click on the raise hand icon over the GoToWebinar, and once you click on raise hand icon, the training coordinator, Ravi, will unmute you, and then you can use the mic and speakers to directly speak over the microphone. Okay, so we are now ready to start. This is the demo, and over here we are going to look at the list of the topics where we're going to learn in the upcoming training program. So I would like to introduce myself. My name is Param, and I'm pulling up my concise profile over the screen for you. And here you go. So I'm working on the certain HANA projects globally as a solution architect. I'm also certified in the SAP HANA associate level and professional level. I'm also currently pursuing my PhD in in-memory technology from the Hasso-Plattner Institute, who is the main data scientist, the inventor of SAP HANA. So here's my profile. Now, as we move on over here to the list of the topics, here are the lists. The first session is all about the background, so that we all understand the basic fundamental of how it works, what are the components of the SAP HANA, what are the offerings of the SAP HANA, why SAP HANA is becoming a very preferred system of engagement in all the respective enterprises globally. We have so far till today 550 customers live on SAP HANA globally, in the US, in Europe, in APAC, including Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and of course South America as well. So we will have the basic awareness in lesson number 1. In number 2, we're going to learn about the available systems, right? So you have the product availability metrics, and this is where the certified hardware vendors come into the area. So you got IBM, HP, Fujitsu, Cisco, Dell, Hitachi, NEC. These are the hardware vendors who are authorized to set up the server and then to provide the server to the customers. So we will understand what are their unique offerings. And then we move on to the architecture. In the architecture, we will have the understanding of the different layers of the architecture. You're going to have source system layer, extraction layer, data processing layer, design layer, and then the reporting layer. So we're going to understand all of those. And of course, all of us will have our own unique user IDs so that you can remotely connect to the remote computer. All you need is an internet connectivity, and that's it. You don't have to install anything on a local computer, or else you don't have to run any program on a local computer. You just have to connect from the remote desktop connection. And all of those HANA system, source system, extractors, the BOBJ, the BODS, the SLT, SAP Visual Intelligence, and all of those required systems are already pre-configured for our training purpose. We got a valid license, and then all of you will be having your own unique user ID and passwords, which is available 24/7, the system access. So starting with the architecture, we will log into the HANA system. We're going to understand the appliance architecture. We're going to look at the database engine view. We're going to look at the loading perspective, the data modeling for the application consultants, the reporting, the administrators view. So we're going to look at the architecture. We're going to learn the HANA architecture from 6 different angles. So this is going to give us a complete, strong background on what the HANA architecture has to offer. How does it look like? How does it process? How does this respective data flow happen in each of these areas? Okay, so it's a theory combination with practical. So we're going to log in and check, hey, this is the architecture. You got the reporting over here, you got the modeling over here, you got administration over here. So I'm going to show you on the system and then also help you relate with the theory that we're going to go through the program. Next, number 4 is the landscaping. This is the area where we as a HANA consultant are going to propose the landscaping options to the customers. That if you're having an SAP source system, then you're going to connect this way. If you're running on a non-SAP sources, you're going to connect this way. So you've got 3 options, and then for the landscaping, you may be also working as an administrator or a solution architect or a consultant, right? So it's important for all of us, whoever is trained in HANA, to also able to propose and prescribe the landscaping option. Where are we going to plug in HANA? How HANA is going to live in our existing landscape, right? So it's important, number 4. Number 5 is the sizing guidelines. And it's going to help us understand the various T-shirt based server sizes. So we're talking about extra small servers, medium, large, extra large servers. Depending upon the production data set of our respective clients and customers, we're going to run a medium server or a large server or an extra small server. So it's important for all of us again to understand the different sizes of the HANA server. Okay? And then we move on to the other intensive area. The intensive area is to start with the lesson number 6, the data provisioning. The data provisioning is more about how we're going to provision the data into HANA. It basically means how we're going to load data over into HANA. Okay, so in here, we will first understand the process flow, how to connect, how to make sure that we got to have proper configuration, parameterization, connectivity, and then we're going to use the SAP Business Objects Data Services. We're also going to use the SAP Landscape Transformation, right? So these are other systems that are part of the HANA package. So these extractor is going to extract data on a real-time basis and load the real-time data over HANA. So from a business perspective, if we are a customer and I'm using a report, I need to find out all my products movement in all my stores across the globe, and I need a real-time data right now because I'm going to trace certain products over the RFIDs. So these extractors help the business users, the business decision makers, to understand the real-time flow of their objects, of their data sets. Okay, so we're going to log in into the computer, we're going to open up the BODS, understand the architecture of the BODS, understand how we work on the BODS, and perform a live replication. Similarly, SLT, SAP Landscape Transformation. So these two are SAP approved replicators that support real-time replication. And then once we're through with the data loading over into HANA, we have further intensive exercises, hands-on experiences. We're all going to log in, and then I'm going to give you an overview on the HANA Studio. The SAP HANA Studio is the interface to access the HANA system. So we may be logging in as an administrator, application consultant, or an end user. So all of us who wants to interact with HANA will go through the interface of Studio, HANA Studio. So I will guide you through how the HANA Studio looks like, how are we going to explore and navigate and perform all the necessary data modeling steps, performing the transports, performing the respective S&A activities, security and transports. Of course, authorization is another major area. So we're going to look all of those in lesson number 7. Okay. Then I move over to the next slide, which is the rest of the other list of the topics that we're going to cover in the training program. So this is part B. The previous was part A. So in part B, we will focus on the other systems where whichever data models that we create, aligning those data models with the respective customer business scenarios, how are we going to run the reports? How our reporting users are going to consume those data models? So we're going to use certain reporting tools, right? So we may just have a simple Microsoft Excel connecting over HANA and do the reporting perfectly fine. So we should know how to use an Excel to connect to HANA. What kind of connector are needed? How do you connect and basically connect over our data models and consume it over Excel or IBM Cognos or MicroStrategy or BobJ tools, right? So BO Explorer, Web Intelligence, and dashboards and visual intelligence, Universe, Analysis Office. There are multiple reporting tools available. So it's basically that the SAP HANA does not have a mandatory reporting system. So you can connect any reporting tool that you got and connect over HANA and perform reporting. So this is the offering to all these respective reporting users from the SAP HANA portfolio. Then number 9, of course, we will have the hands-on on these reporting tools as well. Then once we're through, then we move over to number 9, where we're going to learn about the system administration. Any consultant who is trained on HANA application activities should also be aware on how we run the system administration, system monitoring, backup, recovery, diagnosis. We know that we are not going to perform those in our real-time projects, but it is good to have such additional information. If you are a DBA or a basis consultant or an administrator, this is also an area for all of us to understand system monitoring administration, how it's taken up here in the system. So the training program is focused in 2 major categories of the roles. So one is the application consultant role, and the other one is the system administrator role. So that all of us, once we are through with the training, can apply for the respective certification. And we do encourage all of you to go through the certification. And the reason is the SAP HANA is a fairly new system currently in the marketplace. And in over 2 years, you got over 500 customers live on HANA. So it will be a good area, and it will definitely carry certain weightage if you are certified in SAP HANA. So that's why we are having all of those list of the topics together. Then the security authorization, SNA, is also a common area for the administrators as well as the application consultants. So it's also important that when we start doing the requirements gathering, we connect with the business users, we build the data models, we should also have security in place, right? There are 4 categories of authorizations in the SAP HANA: analysis authorization, package authorization, SQL authorization, and of course the administrator system authorization. So we're going to learn those. We're going to have a separate dedicated session with a hands-on practice together to understand SNA in HANA. And then we move forward to number 11, which is additional topics. And these topics are not part of the SAP education on HANA. These are not part of the SAP Academy training on HANA. We have exclusively entered or provided these additional topics because they are definitely part of your interviews and your real-time projects. If you're an application consultant, we should have at least 1 business case awareness on how we run that on HANA. So therefore, you got profitability analysis business use case. If you are a project manager or a pre-sales or a sales business analyst, this business case study will help you in your sales demos, sales slides. If you are a project manager, you will definitely have to go through the SAP Solution Manager in order to successfully implement your HANA projects. So we all should be aware of what is Solution Manager, What is the architecture of solution manager? What are the offerings of the solution manager? Why we have to go for solution manager? What are the areas that solution manager provides in HANA? Right? So it's important that we all should be aware. These are not going to be part of your certification exam, but it's going to be part of your consulting, your customer engagements, and all the other real-time projects. So we should be aware of that. That's why, from my personal experience, we have added these additional topics. The third one is the BW on HANA. This is for those customers who have already invested on their BW system, and they have a matured business warehouse system of the SAP, right? So if you plug in HANA as the primary database of the BW system, rather than BW working on Oracle or SQL, we run BW on HANA, it's going to be really, really faster. And we don't even need the BW accelerators likewise. So for more details, we will of course have a session on these additional topics. Then the next one is the Rapid Deployment Solutions, the RDS. This is a unique offering which none of the other competitors have are able to produce so far. We all know, or we might be aware of, the big data analysis space right now. Okay, the big data analysis. So every major company or enterprises, they're all talking about big data, big data. So what is big data? Big data is a situation which has been created over a period of time. When we go back 20 years ago or 15 years ago when the IT boom started, you have companies running on mainframe systems. You've got companies working on other legacy systems. So over a period of 10 years, 15 years, you have companies with huge volumes of data. When you want to run certain historical analysis, show me the last 10 years result of the customer buying behavior of my top 10 products, maybe we will not be able to run those reports on the legacy systems or traditional systems. So we will run that on the HANA system. That's why you have HANA really working faster, and so you got multiple business benefits. So the rapid deployment solutions are predefined business contents available for multiple industries, sectors, subsectors, and the line of business. So when we are talking about a customer that wants to implement HANA, we go and implement RDS. Customer is easily able to kickstart the implementation much faster. You don't have to build everything from the scratch. So if you compare other providers of the big data like Teradata, EMC, or IBM Netezza, or Exadata, these are all considered as an empty box or empty boxes. But in the case of HANA, it comes along with certain business contents, which we refer as rapid deployment solutions. So for more details, we will of course go through the industries, for telecom industries, for aerospace and defense, for manufacturing, for oil and gas. You got multiple RDS in the respective line of business available, pre-delivered, pre-defined, pre-created for customers. Next is the direct extractor connection. This is one of the replicator. Of course, we will see in much more detail in our training program. And then the visual intelligence. As I'm part of the SAP labs as a developer, as an auditor, as a tester, the SAP Visual Intelligence was launched some time back, and we now have a Visual Intelligence working on top of HANA. We are also building an Android and iOS 6 apps to run on the HANA system for the Visual Intelligence. Right? We now call this tool as Lumira, SAP Lumira. Right? So for more details, I'm going to keep you, putting in more real-time products, experiences, projects as we go along these list of topics over the training program. And then finally, number 12 is all about your certification exam preparation. And we generally call this number 12 as your final preparation. In here, we will try to go through all of these certification questions that we compile across the globe, and then we get all of the right answers, and I've cross-checked and verified it with certain centers, and it will be available for you as a question bank. So you can go through it. Accordingly, you read it, you understand the respective exam pattern, the question patterns, the multiple choice questions, and all of those details, and then we will help you with your final certification preparation. So this is to also encourage everybody who is trained in HANA should also be certified. That's our primary agenda for this training program. It's not just training and that's over. So training along with the other BobJ tools, SAT tools, BODS tools, and other scenarios with the business use case, security authorization, system administration, reporting, all of that. We're going to deliver that together as a package plus certification questions for you. At the same time, for the other folks who are directly going for your interviews, we have interview FAQs, right? Frequently asked questions. So FAQs are also available. Now, this is what we have as a list of the topics. Then as the excitement grows, I will also like to share with you a few information on the architecture here. Right, so irrespective of the fact that you got multiple HANA use cases, so you might be able to run HANA as a native HANA use case, enterprise HANA use case, HANA over the cloud, well, the architecture remains the same. So it's important for all of us to understand how the architecture process flow really works behind the screen, right? So first of all, I'm going to start with a bottom-up approach. So you got a source system over here. It could be an SAP source system, perfectly okay. You might also have certain non-SAP third-party systems, absolutely fine. You can connect to SAP and non-SAP structured, unstructured, DBMS or RDBMS, flat files, XML files. These are all able to be connected over HANA. So the SAP HANA does not have any prerequisite. It can connect to any of the source systems, and the replicators will do the job of real-time replication. Either we are connected to an SAP, non-SAP, these replicators will perform the real-time replication services, which basically means that whatever changes happens on the real-time in the sources, it will be available on HANA in nanoseconds, in split seconds. It's really fast. The minimum bandwidth is 10 gig per second. So you can imagine the speed. Of course, it keeps on increasing beyond that, the throughput, right? So for a medium range implementation, it's a minimum of 10 gigabytes per second. So these replications are really one of the primary offering of the HANA, which is high-speed real-time replication. So the general manager, as an example, the general manager which is sitting on a particular sales report will be able to immediately get certain updates. This customer has updated this cell or mobile number, and then you're going to also get that result, and you can continue with the respective marketing campaign or offer certain associated products. If the customer has got product A, customer might be recommended product B, likewise. So it's a lot of value addition from a customer business benefit perspective. Next layer is the processing layer. We also call the processing layer as an in-memory computing engine. Sorry? The in-memory computing engine. Now this is because this is the primary component that drives the HANA system altogether. So you got two compartments over here, and we will deep dive into the architecture in our training program to understand how it works. Okay? For now, this is just the outline of the architecture. And after which, you got the modeling studio. The modeling studio is for the data modeling, for creating packages, views, respective information models, right? So this is where we're going to validate, activate, perform transports, also assign these security authorizations, have our users create it, test it, grant those users with the roles, and all of those will be handled here in the studio. And finally, you have these reports available at the presentation layer. Okay, so each one of these are the different layers: source system, replication layer, the design layer, right? Processing layer, design layer, and the presentation layer. For more details, you have architecture session all throughout coming up in the training program. So I've picked up certain screenshots for all of us to have a quick awareness on how the screen looked like, how the HANA system looked like as an interface of the studio. This is how it looks like. So majority of all the applications that we run, we build data models, will be built graphically. So this is how we connect. So just drag, drop, and deploy. That's it. We don't have to go for any prerequisites. Anyway, the prerequisite of learning HANA will be already covered here in a training program. All we need is a confidence and understanding of the business, how we relate the business. So we may be talking about supply chain management. We should have a brief idea how the supply chain management works. Procurement, sales, logistics, dispatch. So that's the business requirement. But as far as the technical prerequisites of HANA goes, we will already cover in this training program. So we're going to have understanding of the BODS ETL part, the BobJ reporting part, the SLT replication part, the understanding of the source system. So this is the technical prerequisite, which we are going to cover that, and then we're going to start the HANA throughout. So majority of all the developments are just drag, drop, and deploy. It's a very sleek tool, and with my personal experience, I've conducted 9 HANA projects globally, and it's a very useful tool for all the developers, end users, business analysts working on the functional side. Anybody can just develop certain data model. All we need to know is where are we connected, how closely are we connected to the business. Okay. Therefore, in your training materials, for any kind of development of any object, there will be a process flow diagram with an arrow. You got to start with this step from left to right, follow the next step, and then go with the third step, and then go with the other steps. So there will be sequence of steps available in your training materials for your practice. Of course, I'm going to go through the project first, and then you can work on that by referring the project. Okay. And then finally, whichever information models that we build, we will also be able to see a quick data preview, how it's going to look like in the presentation layer, and how are we going to showcase, like take, for example, hey, this is the gross revenue that you're getting. Are you sure you're okay with the formula, gross revenue? How do you calculate the net revenue? How do you calculate the margin? Is the formula okay with you? This is how it's going to come up. So you can always cross-check and verify with your functional users through the data preview. So it's not a reporting tool, it's just the preview option. Okay. And then finally, transports. So transport is very simple over here. You just have to export and then perform the import. That's it. We don't have to worry about any particular kind of a strategy of transports. However, there are 3 types of transports in SAP HANA. So we should be already aware of what kind of transport are we going to go for which kind of scenarios. If you're looking at a native HANA, how do you do it? Are you looking at an enterprise HANA, how are you going to perform transport? Right? So that there are 3 types. So we're going to understand those, and of course we're going to practice that in the system. Okay. And besides that, we will also provide you the customer testimonials over our e-documents, the e-books. So you will also have an awareness on these customers, how the project scope was, what was there before HANA, what was done in the project, and what was the result after HANA. Okay, so the screen that you see here are the initial customers which went live in 2010 and then 11. Right, so half of the customers that you see here, Medidata, CEDC, BASF, and Kendi Ventures, and Naruma Research Institute in Tokyo, these are all non-SAP customers. The first SAP product that they applied was HANA, right? So, and then you have other new customers coming up in by the end of 2011, certain new customers like Adidas, Bayer in Germany, British Petroleum in the UK, Samsung went live with HANA. Apple is also going live in HANA. The go live is November this year. Volkswagen. So, and then over 400 customers last year, 2012. By 2013, we have another 250 to 330 customers already live right now as we speak. And then there are other customers that are signing up for the implementation. So you will find small, medium businesses, large enterprises, all going through the HANA because it provides a major competitive advantage. That's high speed. And over that, it also reduces the complex landscape of our customers. If you have worked with all the other customers, you might be also able to agree with me that when you look at the landscape, you'll find at least 10 legacy systems. So how about just having one powerful system as a database together and offer all-in-one solution as a database, as a data warehouse, as an enterprise content management, enterprise information management, enterprise performance management, right? So the SAP HANA offers all-in-one solution. It's built on a database platform. Itself is a database. It is also offering certain application-oriented functionalities that we will learn, of course, over the training. Okay? So therefore, we will also help you with your certification, and that you got certain standard documents available to all of you, plus additional documents that I have created from experience and other sources from the resource library, so that all of us are trained to the latest. We are going to use the latest SAP HANA SP6 Support Pack 6, which was launched just 3 weeks back. So we have updated to our remote computer HANA system, and therefore you're going to get trained on the latest support pack. And it makes sense that when you directly go for interviews, you are already aware of support pack 6. The other previous or other customers are still on SP4, support pack 4. Now you're trained on 6. So, right? So it makes the competitive advantage even for us as a consultant as a part of the career enhancement. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to just quickly show you how the remote computer would look like. And I hope my screen is visible to all. Right, so we just need a remote connection, okay, like this. And then, of course, you will have your user ID and the password that you need to enter. And then it's available 24/7. And you will also be supported with a technical team if there is any technical difficulty in accessing these systems. So let's have a look at what the tools are in here in the remote computer. So let's start with, it's got the BW-BEX Explorer, well, and then the Crystal Reports generic 2011, Crystal Reports for the BOBI Boxy 4X, 4 version, Dashboards 4. Of course, we're going to learn that in probably in the reporting sessions. Then SAP Visual Intelligence over here, sorry, here, right? And then the BOBI platform, the client tools in here. Okay, so you got IDT, UDT, so you'll have an awareness on these tools. Then data services are a very important component of HANA. Wherever HANA goes, you have to have data services. You got to have business objects for reporting, right? So there's a reason behind that we're going to learn later. If you need more documentation on this particular tool, data services, you can also click here, all guides. If you are an administrator integrator's guide, release notes, technical manuals for the developers, and even tutorials. So you can click here, read it, understand, keep it for your reference. Then you have SAP HANA Studio. Here you go. So this is the interface. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like. It's a sleek tool. I would say it's a neat, now it looks much better. When we started in 2009, well, it was not looking that good. But now it's looking much better in terms of navigation. So you have a navigation navigator panel here on the left-hand box, the white box, left-hand column, navigator panel. And in here, you got multiple subfolders like catalog, content. So it's going to help the user to navigate across all the other objects. We will see how to create those, and we will also learn how to navigate respectively. And then below that is the where use list. From a development perspective, if we are a developer, we're working on a particular object, we also should be aware of the fact that it might be used somewhere else. So if you change here, it's going to change other areas. So it gives us the visibility where used list. Then besides that is the properties box. We know the properties, names and details. Then job log. Whichever activity that we perform is going to be entered as a log, as a current job or a history, meaning past, which user activated which object at what date and time stamp. We get it here. And the primary screen is the quick launch, this one. And in here, we will work with these objects. We'll also work with these objects on the right-hand side. And plus, it offers us the documentation. So if you click here, help, maybe I can just pull this screen below, a little bit below. There you go. So you can click here in the documentation on the live system, HANA, and then it's going to redirect you to the help.sap.com/HANA. So it's going to give us the real-time help over here. It's a very reliable tool, an official website of the SAP Help. And if anybody without the SAP background, you can go through the SAP for Industries. It's going to help us understand what are the SAP offerings, SAP best practices, right? The analytics, the SAP NetWeaver, SAP Business Suite over here, right? So as far as the HANA goes, you can click in here. It's going to give you more information. You can download these PDF files over here. If you're an administrator, you might be wanting to learn about the installation process, how it's been done, how we do an upgrade. So you got master guide, you got server installation guide, client installation guide, studio installation, SLT installation. Well, these are all PDFs. So these are all resource library for the user. So it gets updated globally from the SAP Developers Network, the SAP Labs. So you get all in here. Security information. So it's pretty interesting that you have a reliable support in terms of any help needed in the tool embedded. Okay. Right. So if you're, let's say, if you're a part of the hardware vendor, like IBM or Fujitsu or Cisco or Hitachi or NEC or VMware, right? So we should also be aware of how we do the sizing of HANA. So you have these SAP notes. You can also download these further documentation on all of those, right? So this is what we have here. And then plus there are other sub-applications that we're going to go through over our training program to also look at how we arrange the security authorization, what kind of users are going to be created, can I create my own user, right? If so, how? How do you add the user? How do you switch over from one user to the other? How do you assign the user authorization metrics on certain user groups? How do you create roles? How do you assign the privileges to the roles and grant the roles to the users? And if needed, how do you revoke the roles back from the users? It's really a practical-oriented training program. And with this note, we will be closing the demo for this morning and for tonight for the rest of our folks in Asia. So if you do have questions, you can use the questions box or click over the chat box to put in your questions. And you can also click on raise hand, provided you are connected with mic and speakers. Please feel free to raise your questions.
Yeah, Mahesh, you can ask the questions. I have unmuted you.
Hi, I have just joined. Is there, by any chance, did you record your session? Because I have came a bit late, so I just want to know what will be covering in this program.
Yeah, Anjan, I'm going to send you that recorded session.
Okay, thank you, Ravi.
Next, Anjan, you got a question?
No, I have just asked. I am the one who asked the question before.
Okay.
Can I ask, is the training going to be on the SPS 6 version or 5 or?
Yep. It's 5, 6, sorry.
6.
Yep.
Sorry, maybe you would have covered, but just one question. Would you be covering all the replication processes, including the BODS?
Yep. Yes. It's there in the list of the topics.
Okay. Just one more question from Anjan again. How much of BODS do we need for this course? Do I need to be practical experience with that, or?
Now you just need an awareness on how to work on BODS, meaning how you use the BODS to load data into HANA.
Mm-hmm.
So that is all we need. So we're going to cover that in this lesson number 6.
Okay.
BODS, SLT, BOBT reporting.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay. So you would be, I presume you would be showing the schemas which would be created when the replication process in progress, all those things, right?
Yes, we're gonna, yes, definitely. We will see how the schema is configured. We will see there are 3 types of schemas, so we should all know what is a schema by definition, how many types are there, what happens when a user is created, is a schema automatically created, can we create our own schema, If you are using an SLT, what is the SLT defined schema? What's the system standard schema? So we will have all of those in more detail.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, so I got a question on the question box, which is regarding the regarding the technical. So the administration technical part is covered in this training, as well as the application is also covered in this training program. So it's for both the administrators and the application. So we're going to look at the system from two perspectives: application perspective and administration perspective, from the start to the end, meaning from source to the replication, how we do the replication, how we process the data, how we design the data models, how we enable the security authorization, how we perform the transports, how we enable the security into multiple user groups, and then run the reporting. So it's a complete end-to-end, plus we will have our own mini proof of concept, a small project for us. So you can connect with Ravi Shankar. This is the
just
number.
one final
you
question.
Can reach out. Yep.
I mean, out of curiosity, I mean, this is Anjan here. Seeing that this big data concept is going to be a big revolution, I mean, in your experience, do you see the data warehousing where the concept of getting the data into another system is going to vanish in few years' time?
I would say no, because the data warehousing system is much needed as a part of big data analytics. So therefore, the data warehouses will be supported by certain big data analytics systems as a database to the data warehouse. Because you got certain data warehousing functionalities which are not there in the database. Let's take, for example, the compounding functionality. We're looking at SAP Business Warehouse, where you have compounding functionalities, non-cumulative key figure calculation, all the other navigational attribute, and there are multiple offerings of a data warehouse, so which is not available in the underlying database. So when we're looking together as a combination of a big data, we need a powerful database that supports the big data. At the same time, we need a powerful data warehousing with a data mining capability so that we can run certain predictive analytics on the big data system. So is the overall roadmap going down, so which is I would say upcoming in the near future.
Mm-hmm. No, the reason
so
why the reason why I had asked this question is when we look at a SAP HANA roadmap, I think in the next version of HANA, I think they are trying to implement on top of R3 itself. That's why I was asking.
yeah, it's already it's already globally available. So
Okay.
the ECC is going to run on top of a HANA database. Earlier ECC ERP was running on Oracle. Now it's going to start running on HANA database. So it's called as SOH, SAP Business Suite on HANA 1.0.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because when the HANA pretty much going to store in the column compression, I was wondering, will there be any need to extract to other system?
Yep. So it's a combination. We will learn that in the additional topics. That's why we have included additional topics.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so as per the confirmation from the training coordinator, we're going to have our first session tomorrow at 9 a.m. EST. So it will be at the daily timings. So tomorrow, 9 a.m. in the morning. Central time is 8 a.m. in the morning. And India time is 6:30 p.m. in the evening.
Will it be 2 hour session every day?
Yep, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so please connect with Ravi Shankar for more details on the training program, the timelines, and the system access details. We're going to connect tomorrow, same time at 9 a.m. EST, 8 a.m. Central Time, or else 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time for the first session tomorrow. Thanks, everyone, and we hope to connect tomorrow, same time.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. We're going to connect tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye.